Alright, so I got a little bit of time today. Let's try and do a little something on this, right? So I got the shape done. I put a coat over it. Let's see how it lines up with my original marks. I mean, that's pretty good. There's a little, almost like a little flat spot here, but I think it's good enough. You can, it's not flat, it's just flatter than the rest of that curve, so I think it's good. And you line it up, you see I got center again. My marks are a little off because this curve kind of rolls into this a little bit, so kind of changed the way it lines up on there, right? But all in all, I'm pleased with it. So the next thing I need to do, you know, I kind of drew this line, right? So the fender is going to kind of come out a little bit from this edge. So if I'm going to use this as a buck, this needs to come out as that edge. So how am I going to do that? Got that there. Edge glued pine, 1 inch by 12 inches by 72 inches. And I'm going to sheet the sides. But I want to make sure that I sheet it where I need to sheet it. I'm not wasting a lot of material because, as you see, I don't have a huge amount of material. So let's take this, let's line it up. So this should be like, essentially my fender will be on top of it, right? Let's kind of line it up where it would go. All right, so I want this to line up with that, and it does here. Now this has to be high enough to clear the tire, and it does there. Now it needs to be forward enough that it's kind of centered on it. And I think it does there. So if I just raise it up a little to give me that little gap, I mean, we got a line that's going to kind of go like that, right towards the center of the tire. So that's where my fork needs to attach to this, right? So if my fork is going to attach to it there, let's line it back up on here. I don't know that I really need to line it up right now, but I am. So give me an idea so I can draw stuff. All right, so help me visualize. Let's see how that line works out with the center of my circle, right? Because I already did draw that. So that'll be an easy find. So if that's the center of my circle, it lines up pretty darn good with it. So obviously my eyeball's got to be pretty close there. So I'm happy with that. Now, I need to draw the rest of it. Now, like I said, I'm not sure exactly. I'm going to end up trimming it to fit that, how it looks cool and all that business, right, on the bike. But I want to make sure I got shit to play with. So, if I want shit to play with, let's draw this line. That's where my fork's going to go, right? Right to there. Alright, so if that's where my fork's going to go, now you can see on my original drawing that was kind of shifted a little bit, hasn't it? So let's fix that. This is going to kind of come like this. This is going to go up. And we're going to have it then probably follow this line. I like that. And then this one is probably going to be much similar. I don't know. I was thinking of doing a straight back too on it from somewhere, but I'm not sure where. So let's give it enough that I could if I wanted. I'm probably going to end up doing this one, but let's give it enough. So if I could, if I wanted, I could. So if we do that to there, I want to give it enough hang over the edge too here, so I can trim it so it like kind of matches the edge of the inside of the wheel, because that'll look cool, just kind of fade away, right? So really, I need to cover that area from there and then about like that, really. Or, let's see. So how's that gonna work with that pine? Because that pine is 12 inches. Boop. Not quite there, huh? I can come up a little bit with it. So, first thing I want to do, we know we got to line this edge up. We know we got to line that edge up. I can always add a little flare on it too. So in the back, I'll probably just have to fill in this gap with another edge glued piece onto this piece, right? So if I do that, that edge already lines up. Let's give it a little bit of a lip, just a little bit, not much, just a little. Because I do have a Dremel. So a Dremel, I can route a little bit, but I only have small bits on it, so I don't want to be routing a whole lot of stuff. So essentially, that's going to be my board. But like I said, let's add a little bit to it. Just a little bit. All right, so there's that. So I'm going to use an awl, AWL. And what that's going to let me do is it's going to let me scratch it on a nice fine point. Okay, now let me use my pencil and I'm going to mark some high spots. So right here I can take a little bit. Probably right in here I can take a little bit. Alright, close that up a little bit for the most part. I'm happy it goes in there. Alright, but you see it's still too thick. So now I need to grow that much mow. So you'll notice this has a shank on it. So the smooth spot on there will ultimately stop me and keep me in line with the cuts that I already have on there. Right there might be good. That's good. Should leave it just a hair high so I can sand the edge. All right, now like I said, the smooth part on it should guide right against my already cut as a stop. So this one should be less, should have a lot less care in this round of routing. Little ledge along the whole inside. See, does it fit? Fits. Oh yeah, nice and flat too. So there we go, step one. Step two, do it again. Voila, perfect. All right, so for the glue, I definitely want it on this edge because this is my perfect edge, right? The little vertical shelf. That's my perfect edge. That one's gonna have all the contact faux show. So let's make sure that gets completely glued. Now, for this other edge, I'm going to put a fair bit on it because it's going to get sucked in. It's going to squeeze out, and I have gaps anyway. Now, like I said, I have gaps, so I want to try and fill them with some glue, jam some in there. Obviously, it's not filler, but it'll do stuff, right? It'll still get in there, it'll still dry in there. Now, something else I want to do for all my gaps. Let's put some wood filler in there, right? Work it in. It'll stick to that glue. It'll make it not stick to other stuff. It'll help keep that gap filled. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on the top of that. What seam? Okay. Let's flip it. Oh, got all those ugly glue droplets. Now let's do that again. Didn't have as much squeeze out on this one, so I'm actually going to put more glue in there. All right, now that I got glue on both sides, it needs to dries, but it also needs some clamps because I want it to sit tight. I want everything to sit like I made it to fit. Now we let that dry. Alright, so that's going to dry up there now. All that glue, all that wood stuff. And then I'll be able to sand that smooth. Add the little bottom pieces there. And then I'll be able to start worrying about making the spot so it can mount to the fork. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Yep, we're getting there. But that's it for today. So see you next time.